Hi, my name is Shania Verhelli, and I will be presenting the impact of positive stereotypes on women. Abstract. This study is replicated from the article When Compliments Fail to Flatter, American Individualism and Responses to Positive Stereotypes by John Oliver Sy and Sapna Sharon. Specifically, the second part of their study focuses on how women react negatively to being the target of a positive stereotype. The major theory presented within the article is that when women hear a positive stereotype about their group, a negative reaction will be evoked. To test this theory, participants were gathered and randomly presented with one of two scenarios: a positive stereotype and no stereotype. An imaginative scenario was created, asking the women participants to volunteer. However, in the positive stereotype condition, women were referred to as cooperative. In the control condition, no positive stereotype was included. A questionnaire was then completed by all participants, which measured the levels of dislike and depersonalization each participant felt. It was found that the group of women who were exposed to the positive stereotype condition felt a stronger sense of dislike towards a speaker and felt a stronger sense of depersonalization compared to that of women who were not presented with a positive stereotype. These results support the theory that positive stereotypes have negative impacts on women, causing high levels of dislike and depersonalization. Introduction. The impacts of positive stereotypes upon women were evaluated through a popular surveying program in which 112 women participated. The participants were randomly given one of two conditions: control or cooperation. Depending on the condition selected for them, an imaginative scenario read that volunteers were needed. In the control condition, it was a simple message of participants needing to volunteer. However, in the cooperative condition, a comment was included stating that women are cooperative. After participants read through one of these conditions, they were then asked questions about the dislike of the speaker and the level of depersonalization felt by what had been said. In contrast to the control condition, participants felt a stronger sense of dislike towards a speaker who used a positive stereotype, and participants felt a stronger sense of depersonalization when the positive stereotype was used. These results suggest that women will dislike a person more used as a positive stereotype based on their group. They also suggest that when a woman hears a positive stereotype regarding their group, they feel more depersonalized. Result was consistent with the theoretical perspective that positive stereotypes actually evoke negative reactions instead of positive ones, as it takes away from one's identity and individualism. This study hypothesized that women would dislike the speaker more who refers to their group as cooperative, and that they would feel a sense of depersonalization when being referred to as cooperative. The hypotheses proved to be true, showing that there are negative impacts on women when positive stereotypes are used. The first hypothesis states women who were positively stereotyped, independent variable, as cooperative will dislike, dependent variable, the speaker more than they like them. The second hypothesis states women who are positively stereotyped, independent variable, as cooperative will feel a stronger sense of depersonalization, which is a dependent variable. Method. Participants. 112 women participated in an online survey study to view the impacts of positive stereotypes on women. Procedure. Participants were randomly assigned to be the target of a positive stereotype, cooperative, or to receive no positive stereotype. In the positive stereotype condition, participants indicated their gender and read the following scenario. Imagine class is about to end when your teaching assistant allows a non-profit representative to make an announcement. After getting everyone's attention, the representative began his announcement and says, "Our organization is looking for tutors to mentor high school students. I know women are very cooperative. We could use you in our programs. Please consider volunteering." After imagining themselves in the situation, participants filled out a questionnaire that assessed how much they liked the person in the scenario, measured with two items. How much would you like this person, and how much would you want to be friends with this person? On a scale from 1, not at all, to 7, very much, ratings were reverse scored such that higher ratings corresponded to greater dislike. Sense of being depersonalized was assessed with 4 questions. To what extent does this person see you as more than a member of your gender group? 1, sees me only as another member, to 7, sees me as more than just another member, reverse scored. 2, to what extent does this person see you only for your gender group? 1, sees me as an individual, to 7, sees me only for my gender group. 3, to what extent does this person make you feel identical to other members of your gender group? 1, not at all identical, to 7, very identical. And 4, in your opinion, to what extent is this person's judgment based solely on your gender? 1, not at all based on gender, to 7, completely based on gender. Results. Dislike of person. A condition, positive stereotype versus no stereotype. Scenario, volunteer versus team meeting. Between subject analysis of variance. On dislike, revealed a main effect condition such that women who were positively stereotyped reported disliking the person more than women who were not positively stereotyped. The results showed that women who were positively stereotyped disliked the person more than women who were not positively stereotyped. Sense of being depersonalized. A condition, positive stereotype versus no stereotype. Scenario, volunteer versus team meeting. Between subjects, ANOVA, on sense of being depersonalized, revealed the main effect condition. The results showed that women who received a positive stereotype felt a stronger sense of being depersonalized than women who were not positively stereotyped. Independent samples t-test on dislike. An independent samples t-test was conducted on dislike to compare the impact of a positive stereotype being used and not used on women. There was a significant difference between the positive stereotype and no stereotype on women. The positive stereotype scored slightly higher than no stereotype in dislike. Independent samples t-test on depersonalization. An independent samples t-test was conducted on depersonalization to compare the impact of positive stereotypes being used and not used on women. There was a significant difference between the positive stereotype and no stereotype on women. The positive stereotype scored higher than no stereotype in depersonalization. Reliability on dislike. A reliability statistics test was run on dislike using the reverse scores for dislike. The first reverse dislike score and the second reverse dislike score were calculated to determine the reliability of dislike scores. The results stated Cronbach's alpha was at 0.71, making the dislike score reliable. Reliability on depersonalization. A reliability statistics test was run on depersonalization using the one reverse score and question scores. The first reverse depersonalization score, the second score, the third question score, and the fourth question score were all calculated to determine the reliability of the depersonalization scores. The results stated Cronbach's alpha was at 0.83, making the depersonalization score reliable. Discussion. The purpose of this study was to view if women had negative reactions to hearing an individual state a positive stereotype based upon their group. The first hypothesis was that women who were referred to as cooperative when being spoken to would dislike the speaker more than like them and feel a sense of depersonalization. This hypothesis was supported as the women who were referred to as cooperative felt a sense of dislike towards the speaker and depersonalization. The second hypothesis was that women who were not referred to as a positive stereotype would be likelier to like the speaker than dislike them and not feel a sense of depersonalization. This hypothesis was also supported as when women were not referred to by a positive stereotype, they felt neutral about the speaker and did not feel depersonalized. The results were consistent with the theory that positive stereotypes have negative impacts upon women. Limitations. There were a few limitations and drawbacks that arose during the study. First, the primary contact with participants differed slightly between the first participant and ones that followed. The script was not set up correctly originally. While revised and implemented through the participants that follow, the first participant's data could have altered the dataset because of the variation of the primary communication. Second, during the beta phase of the survey, there was an error in the survey program. The survey questions were randomized, showing multiples of the same question in the control survey, with 4 questions being absent from the cooperative survey. Due to this error, the first 7 participants were omitted from the dataset, which could have potentially distorted the results. Third, after fixing these stated errors, a report was made from a participant that the control and cooperative scenarios were detectable while taking part in the study. Examination was carried out to assess the error, however, no mistakes were found. This puts a feasible risk that other participants could also view both scenarios, and the dataset could be altered. There were no other reports of errors being made. Strengths. There were definite strong points made within the study. There are significant negative impacts when positively stereotyping women. While a speaker's goal may not be to offend women when expressing such a positive stereotype, it is certainly not appreciated by women. From this understanding, it is most likely better not to state a positive stereotype as one believes is connected to one's group, as it creates a sense of dislike and sense of depersonalization for women. Future studies. In future studies, it would be advisable to include additional demographic information such as age. While this study did not have time to include this additional demographic, it could potentially alter results. Including age within the study could have possibly created a difference in the results shown here. Also, fixing the 3 major errors found in the study carried out would be advisable as well. To do so, future studies must ensure that primary contact remains the same for all participants, that survey errors are minimized and fixed before gathering data, and being certain that both situations are not visible to participants. Conclusion. There is a lot of information that can be taken from this study. The biggest part is that positive stereotypes have negative impacts upon women, even if they may not be the speaker's goal. When women are positively stereotyped, they generally feel a negative emotion arise from it. In this study, we saw the negative reaction of disliking the speaker who positively stereotyped them and feeling a sense of depersonalization by being positively stereotyped. This study is crucial for everyone around the world to understand, as it teaches us how to better respect the woman in our lives. What may be viewed as a nice comment can feel like an insult. Women mustn't be lumped into a positive category that the world believes they must fit into. By doing so, we are taking away their individuality and sense of personality. Thank you for listening.